Welcome to the CEO Insider, powered by YTexas. Welcome to the CEO Insider, brought to you by YTexas. We are here at the beautiful Circle T Ranch in Westlake, Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, much closer to Fort Worth than it is to Dallas, and I think Fort Worth calls this home. And we're joined by Robert Sturns, who's the Vice President. You've got a big title here, man. Vice President of Economic Development. Now, that sounds like a high-pressure job to me. It's like it's your job for economic development. That's a big thing. But you grew up in municipal government, right?
I did. Yes. And I've been in municipal government for almost 19 years now, most of that time in Fort Worth. And it's really a great time to be in the community. I mean, Fort Worth is obviously an outstanding place to live. I grew up here. And just to see all the development that we've had happen in this community over the past 15 to 20 years has really just been incredible to watch. And I'm really feel very positive about where we are going in the future and what the next 20 years will look like in this city.
Robert, I'm curious, you mentioned that you grew up here, and Fort Worth, as most people know, has changed.
It has.
Quite a bit. Can you give us a snapshot of how Fort Worth has changed economically, and what some of the features of Fort Worth that are here now that weren't here when you were growing up?
Sure. Well, Fort Worth, when I was growing up, and, people that grew up in the area remembering Fort Worth when it was smaller, about 350,000 or so in population. We rightly earned our nickname as Panther City. There was not a lot of activity going on. We had some specific nodes, but it wasn't as vibrant as it is today. And when you look at some of the distinct districts that we have from the Alliance, Texas area to downtown Fort Worth to the near South Side, West 7th, I mean, all of these things have occurred over the past 20 or so years. And I think that's a testament to not only the leaders and the visionaries who saw these raw pieces of land and said, hey, this is really something that we could develop and capitalize on like they did here at Alliance, or looking at our downtown area and saying, this is really an area that we really need to invest in and put the patient capital in to make sure that we have this vibrant, exciting central business district that we have today. So it's been really exciting.
Yeah, the transformation of Fort Worth over the years has been amazing.
Sure.
And for people that haven't been to Fort Worth, you should get up and check it out and spend some time here. And what is economic development? At its very core, day in, day out, what are you dealing with in the economic development of Fort Worth?
Well, at its core, day in, day out, our role is to help grow the community. Right? So whether that is the form of attracting new businesses here, helping our existing businesses to grow, work with our small business clients who are trying to expand their operations, all of that really entails what it means to help grow the economy. But along with that, you have to look at some of the other issues. And so, while the aspects of business recruitment and retention tend to get most of the press and the discussion when you talk about economic development, it really comes down to how are you growing the overall talent in your community. And so that starts with working with the school districts, working with the colleges and universities to ensure that we have the right people that can come in and fill these positions as we attract companies to the area.
Right. It's almost like, you know what? We educated you kids. You're going to stay here.
Exactly, yes.
You're going to stay here.
We put this investment in you.
We put this into you. We want you to stay here and help us grow
Right.
the economy here in Fort Worth, right?
Exactly. That is exactly it.
Right. That you never think of it going all the way back to elementary school.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
But
and that's really where it starts.
Right. It really does. It does start there. What Fort Worth is. Sometimes you hear Dallas, Fort Worth, and I hate to go to there, but this is a great place to do business.
It really is.
And can you tell our viewers, our listeners, some of the great reasons to do business in Fort Worth, Texas?
Well, and this is not to
Go
say
ahead.
anything negative about our partners to the east. But,
Go ahead.
I think the one thing that you can talk about when you talk about Fort Worth, and specifically in relationship to Dallas, I think most people see Dallas as a very transactional community. Whereas Fort Worth is much more relational. And so I think we have a very authentic mindset here. We still, even though we're the 15th largest city in the country right now, we still have a little bit of that small town feel to it.
Right.
So it's very easy for someone who has not been in the community to come in, get engaged with some folks, and people are more than willing to take a phone call, have a meeting, sit down for coffee or lunch, and just talk about the various aspects of what makes this community great. And so I think above anything else, it's just that authentic, friendly feel of Fort Worth that really drives what we
Fort Worth always seems to me like a big city that you can do business in with on personal.
Sure, exactly.
Personally,
Right,
you can
right.
sit down with someone and you can talk to them.
Right.
Or like you said, they will answer a phone call and they'll return a phone call.
Exactly.
It's very nice.
Yeah, I think that
Right.
the business community and the community as a whole, I think, is very interested in helping new people and new companies reach their maximum potential, and they're willing to help make those connections and try to drive some of that forward.
No, I know that you're a radio, TV, film. You have a degree. Stephen F. Boston, is that
Stephen
right?
in Boston, yes.
Right. Did you ever use it?
Not really. So
No?
I was a radio DJ for a while in college, and
Yeah.
then once I got out, didn't really want to move to a small market,
Yeah.
which is kind of where you have to get started in radio television. So I kind of bounced around in a few different places, and then found myself in commercial real estate for about 7 years. So I've had kind of a winding road to public service and working with city government, but it's been very exciting.
I'm curious, is city government something that you will continue as a career, or is this something that you're doing to fulfill your civic duty, or were you going in return back to commercial real estate, or is this a
No, I really think it's a career choice for me. And you know, my father was also heavily involved in public administration, so I've had that kind of in my background growing up. But you know, the great thing about working with municipal government and working in local government is that, particularly in economic development, there's always new challenges that come down the road. And I think that's really the exciting part of the job, is that, you know, every day, every week, there's something new that you can sink your teeth into. There's some new opportunity that may be coming towards you, some new business that you're going out to acquire, or just looking at where some of our communities sit and some things that we can do on our side to begin to help develop some of those areas that have particularly been underserved for the past 15 years or so.
I think in your position you have to be always optimistic.
Yes.
But I'm curious, is there anything that occurred in the recent midterms that has you concerned? That it could be an issue with, let's say, it's something that you're going to have to address.
Sure. Not specifically with the midterms in particular. I think some of the things that have happened on the federal level from the standpoint of some of the tariffs that have been introduced, obviously if you've kind of followed how that has impacted some businesses, I think that's a concern as to what that economic impact is going to be going forward and what industries that's going to specifically hit. But you know, I think overall we have to take the midterms elections as what they are. We'll have a new House coming in, and we'll see what specific changes they're going to make or try to make going forward. And then, well, from the local side, we'll adjust to that and move forward.
All right. Robert, thank you very much for the time.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank you. I
sitting down.
appreciate it.
I think you should get back in front of a microphone.
Don't tell anyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate
All right.
it. All right.